Hey, it's me, Grace. Today we're going to make this cute little grill just for Father's Day. Today everybody has fancy smokers, green eggs, and every other kind of grill or smoker there is. But when I was a girl, this is the kind of grill that I remember. It's just a little round top grill with the 3 legs and wheels on the bottom. And then of course when you open it, there was a grate inside. So this was just a regular charcoal grill. So I want to show you how I made this in case maybe you want to make it for the dad in your life. It's just a cute little, it's just a cute little accessory that they can have to know that you're thinking of them. It also makes a really good dollhouse accessory because dollhouse accessories can be pretty expensive. So here's what you'll need. Let's begin with a magic ring or loop or whatever you call it. Alright, and then we are going to chain 1 as soon as I get that tail out of the way. Chain 1 and then single crochet 10 into the ring. Okay, once you have 10, let's pull that tail and close up the circle. Close up that ring, and then we're going to join to the beginning single crochet with a slip stitch. For round 2, we're going to chain 1 and work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. And I know that this yarn is dark, but we kind of had to have it for the grill. It had to be dark, so mine happens to be a dark gray. You might be using black, but sometimes it's hard to see. So what you can do is gently pull apart your work just so you can find where the stitches go. And we're going to begin in this very first stitch. We're going to make 2 single crochets in there. And sometimes too, depending on how you hold your hook or how you're comfortable, I like to choke up on mine. When the work's real small, I'll grab it, right near the hook instead of way down here. If it's a bigger work and a bigger yarn, I hold it further down, but sometimes with the smaller one, I just feel like it helps me a little more to choke up on the hook a little bit. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, so in the end we'll have 20 stitches. So you can kind of count as you go, or you can count at the end, as long as you end up with 20. So we have 2 already, because we've put 2 in here, because the chain 1 doesn't count for anything in single crochet. It doesn't count for the first stitch, like in half double crochet. When you chain 2, it counts as the first half double crochet. Or when you chain 3 for a double crochet, it counts as the first stitch. It's not that way with single crochet, so we're going to make 2 into the first stitch, and then 2 into the next, and then 2 in each stitch around. So we have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, and we're going to join again to the beginning single crochet that we made, just with a slip stitch. For round 3, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to make 2 single crochets into the very first stitch. And then just 1 in the next one. 2 in the next. One in the next. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to do 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet. All the way around we should get a total of 30 stitches. I have 6 so far. This will be 8, 9, 11, 12, 14, 15, 17, 18, 20, 21, 23, 24, 26, 27, 29, 30, and then join to the beginning single crochet with a slip stitch. Rounds 4 through 6 are identical. This is actually the bottom of the grill. So we're going to do rounds 4 through 6 identically. So we're just going to chain 1 and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around for round 4, round 5, and round 6. So when we're done with these rounds, I'll show you the next step. Now that we've completed the rounds 4 through 6, it's time to end off because that's all that we're going to do on the bottom. So we're just going to clip a tail, pull that through, of course after you've completed your round by joining it with a slip stitch. Okay, so I like to go ahead and weave in the ends. I'm using not a very big yarn needle because this is smaller yarn, smaller stitches. It's just easier to get the smaller needle through. So I'm going to end off here and weave in the ends. And I know it's really hard to see because it's dark yarn, and I apologize. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to do something else to this side in just a few minutes. And so, you know, weave it in however. Okay. You do want to close up the hole as tightly as possible. And if you're having trouble at all getting that hole closed up, you can just stitch around and around till it closes up, and it will. Okay, so this is the bottom, and we're going to turn it where the right side is out, like this, and this was the inside. So outside, inside, right side, wrong side. Okay, and that's how we want to turn it. So this is the base of the little charcoal grill that we're making. And you want to just play with it a little bit to shape it, because we want it to be round, and we're going to make the lid next. Making the lid is going to be exactly the same as we made the base. We're going to start with a magic ring, and we're going to chain 1, work 10 single crochets into the ring, if I'm going too fast, you can slow me down with the little gear on the bottom of the viewing screen. You can choose your speed, and of course you can pause at any moment if I'm going too fast and leaving it behind, but since we've already done the bottom the same way, I'm just taking into consideration we've already done one, so the second one should be easier. Now that we have 10, we're going to pull that string and close it up. We're going to join to the beginning single crochet with a slip stitch. Round 2, we're going to chain 1 and work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. And remember, if it's hard to see where to put them, just kind of gently pull your work apart till those spaces pop open, till the stitches pop open where you can see where to insert your hook. 2 stitches in each single crochet around, or 2 single crochets in each stitch around, for a total of 20. Okay, once you have 20, join with a slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. And that's the end of round 2. Round 3, we're going to chain 1, work 2 single crochets into the very beginning stitch, 1 into the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, and repeat that pattern around until you have 30 stitches, and then join with a slip stitch. Just joining with a slip stitch. Okay, so that's the end of round 3, and at this point we're going to make rounds 4 through 9 all exactly the same. So we're going to chain 1 and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 30. And we're going to do that for rows 4 through 9. And once we have all those completed, I'll show you the next step. Now that we've joined round 9 with a slip stitch, we're going to end off. Just clip your yarn, pull it through just like we did before. We're going to weave in the ends. I'll spare you the details on that, but we're just going to weave in the ends, and then I'll see you again. Okay, so this is the end. This is the side that we wove the ends in on, so this is the wrong side. We want to put right side out, so this is the finished or right side, and then of course inside is the unfinished or wrong side. So we just want to turn it out like this, and that makes the top side of our grill. So the pieces should fit together pretty well if you can keep them round. So top, bottom. The next thing we're going to do is make the hinge for the lid because it has to be hinged together. There are several ways you could do this. You could use yarn. I like to use a lightweight wire, which of course this wire came in a science kit that we got, but you can get a lightweight floral wire from Michael's Art Store. Walmart carries it, and depending on where you live, the Dollar Tree may even carry it. My Dollar Tree does not. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to use a few inches. We don't need that much at all, and because it's red, I'm going to strip it back to the bare wire. Now that I have the wire stripped back, I'm going to join the two pieces just by looping it through. I'm just picking a spot. You might want to pick the spot where you joined, so to kind of hide it at the back. That's kind of up to you, but that's what I like to do. So I'm choosing the two places where I ended off, and I'm just going to insert the wire. And this wire is very, very flexible. It's just a lightweight copper wire. So I'm just going, I mean, you could really even use your fingers, but I like to use a tool. And I'm just going to bend it around till it's in a pretty tight loop. And then just work it through the stitches. I like to just work it through 3 or 4 stitches. I didn't want, I want it to open and close fairly well. So just going to, and you can see how flexible this wire is. It's extremely flexible. If you don't have wire and you don't want to go out and purchase some, another way to get wire for your projects is to use bread bag ties and just take the coating off the wire. And that's actually what I used on the first one. But it was a little cumbersome to remove the wrapping. So this was a little easier to strip the wire. So that's why I'm using this little copper wire on this one. Okay, I'm gonna go through, I'll probably go through 2 more stitches. And that'll make 4 stitches, and that should hold it pretty well. And like I said, you could really just use yarn to tie it together. I just kind of like the wire holding it together. And my wire was about 4 inches, 4.25 inches long. You don't need that much, obviously. You only need about half that. So just clip it off when you're done and bend that piece around. And I still have too much, so I'm going to clip off some more. Just bend that around just so it's not poking straight up. And it may not be pretty, but as long as it holds together, it doesn't really show much to the outside, which is good. Okay, now you might want to take a minute to reshape your grill. The next thing that we're going to do is make the stand. So obviously we need legs on this grill. It needs to be able to stand up. So turn it to the bottom, and you're just going to kind of bend your pipe cleaner around. These were just $1 for a whole pack at the Dollar Tree. You can buy them at Walmart too. I'm sure they're not much more than that. And these are the metallic ones. So if you don't like the metallic ones, I'm sure you can find either at Walmart or Michael's. You can, or depending on your Dollar Tree, they may have the regular kind. You might not want silver. You might rather have gray or black. It doesn't matter what color you choose. I just happen to choose silver because most grills have some silver on them. Just cut off a little bit. This is about 4.5 inches, and I'm going to bend it around, trying as best as I can to keep it round, but you know, pipe cleaners kind of have a mind of their own sometimes. I'm going to take these two pieces and just kind of wind them around each other. So this is where the tool comes in handy, because this wire is a little thicker, a little less forgiving on your fingers than the little copper wire that I had. Okay. So you're just making a base for it to sit in. And you can kind of flatten your work at this point if you need to. Just make sure that it's round. Okay. Next we need legs. I'm going to take the remaining part of my pipe cleaner and I'm going to just cut it in half. Okay, and then of course I'm going to need a third leg. I want 3 legs for my grill. You might want 4, that it's completely up to you. I'm just going to kind of measure out the third leg. Okay, you want them, I guess they don't have to be exactly perfect, but you want them as equal as possible. And then we're going to bend the ends just to make little feet. You want those about equal as well. I don't think mine are quite equal, but it'll be good enough. And of course, if one of the little feet is longer, you can just rebend it. There, I think that's pretty good. You want to place the feet about, well, you want them equidistant apart. Okay, so about like so, and then just arrange them how you want. And then you're going to take your tool, and so the foot is facing toward you. You're going to just connect these. And I'm winding these around, but you could really use glue. You could use hot glue just to attach them if you don't have a tool, or if you don't want to use the tool. And then you're going to kind of measure the feet, because you want them one as tall as the other. And you're going to attach all the feet. Once you have all the feet attached to the base, you're going to cross them. You want to cross them like so. Okay. Now you're going to join these together in the middle. For this, you need more wire, or you can use a small piece of pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to get a small piece, and I'm going to bend it around, hook it on, and just wrap it as tightly as you can around the legs. Okay, so now only one of the feet is faced out properly. You're going to want to bend those around. So if they're not facing you anymore, you'll want them pointed away from the base, like so. The next step is to attach the wheels. For the wheels, I'm just using regular black beads that you can purchase from Walmart or a craft store or perhaps even your Dollar Tree. I haven't seen these particular beads in my Dollar Tree. Like I said, my Dollar Tree is kind of small and it doesn't carry a lot of the things that others do. You're going to also want some hot glue for this step. So basically what we're going to do is just put some glue in here and insert the pipe cleaner through the middle of the bead. If you don't have hot glue, you can use E6000, which is great, but it's also kind of smelly. If you want something that works well, but it'll take a little while to dry, you can use something like this Fast Grab Tacky Glue, which we'll be using again in a minute. I like the hot glue because it's quick. So what I like to do is just put a little glue into the center of the bead and then slip it right on to the pipe cleaner. Okay, so that's one. The next step is to attach the base to the bottom of the grill. So I have turned my grill upside down, and of course this is the right side. So the inside is down, outside is up, and then I'm just going to put some hot glue around the edges. And stick it down. And I want it fairly centered, obviously. Okay. Next we'll flip it over. And we're going to reshape the bottom a little bit. I know this is kind of a fiddly project, but it is fun. And it turns out so cute. Next I'm using my Fast Grab Tacky Glue, and I'm going to generously apply this glue to the inside of my grill. I'm going to take some of these poly pellets. You can get these at Walmart or a fabric or craft store, and I'm just going to push them down into the glue. These are going to be my charcoal briquettes. And if you want, you could come back with like a black chalk paint or a black acrylic paint and kind of dab color into there. But you know, after the charcoal briquettes heat up and they're ready to cook, they really turn whitish. So I'm not concerned with the color. These are just going to be, these actually serve two purposes: to look like briquettes and then to give the project a little bit of weight so that it will stand up and not fall over every time. Now that we have the briquettes in there, we're going to make a grate for the inside of the grill. And we're just going to take another pipe cleaner and gently bend until we have about the right size for the inside of the grill. So that's about right. So I'm going to go ahead and twist this around and secure it. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut off the excess here. And twist that around also. So I want it to hold well. Once you're satisfied with it, you can put your grill to the side. And then we're going to work on the bars that go across. So I saved this piece, and I'm going to cut off other pieces because they won't all be the same. It's okay, if you get it a little long, you know you can trim it up later. Okay, just get them about right. You'll probably want about 4 to make a decent grate. Okay, one more. Okay, I think that's pretty good. This one's a little long. Let me cut a little piece off that. Alright. So next we're going to glue these down with some hot glue. And I'm going to work from the outside in, just so I'll get them spaced pretty evenly. Okay, so there's the grate, all finished. The last thing we need to do before we're really done is to attach a handle to the top of the grill. Okay, so you want to close the lid, cut a little piece, not very long, it doesn't need to be long, and you're going to just take your tool and bend the ends down. Really not a lot of the handle needs to stick up, it's just enough to see. But you'll want to bend it around. And then it's going to go down through the stitches. So you want to work them down or up, maybe. Might be easier for you to work it up through the stitches. Okay, just across the middle. And then simply just bend this around so it won't pull out. Close it up and then pull up the excess. Just pull it till it sticks up a little bit. Reshape the top. And you can leave it like this if you want. If you find that it's kind of floppy, we can reinforce that with wire. For reinforcing purposes, I'm taking 2 pieces of small wire and I'm just going to insert them. So that you can see it, I left it red, but you might want to strip the wire or get wire that is closer to the right color. I'm just going to use some hot glue and place that inside. I'm going to use a tool because I don't want to burn myself. And just push the wire into the hot glue. Okay, and that'll help reinforce the top and keep it round. I'm going to do that again a little further up. Okay, once you have your wire to the size that you want, go ahead and attach it with hot glue just to the inside of the top. This is a little difficult, but it can be done. Ouch. Okay. Once you're satisfied with that, you just let the glue dry. Insert your grate. Now, you may or may not want to glue this down. I don't glue it down, but you know, that's a personal preference. But at this point, we are finished. You can just close the lid. And you might want to play with that a little bit. That might be one reason you might want to glue it down, because you can close it completely. And there it is, your grill for Dad. Give it to him with lots of love this Father's Day, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and have an awesome day. Bye. If you like the grass patch that I made, you can watch the tutorial by Laura at Happy Berry Crochet, and I'll put the link in the description box for you.